Welcome to the Hey Sister podcast, where sisters share real opinions and have honest conversations about life, growth, and everything in between. Hey, sisters, how y'all doing?
Hey,
Hey,
sister.
sister.
Well, as usual, before we get started, let's do a quick check in. How is everyone feeling? What y'all been up to?
Feeling pretty optimistic. I'm about to be back on my meds, and I feel good about where I'm about to be in a week or two.
Yay. I feel just fine and dandy. I don't know if that's a word on the mood chart, but that is the word that I have today.
That's a good one. I'm feeling tired. I've been waking up at I've been staying up till like 2:30 in the morning. And then I've been waking up at like 6 in the morning. So I have not been sleeping, but I've been really productive, but I'm tired.
I'm feeling excited. I'm going to Palm Springs next weekend, which I haven't been in at least like maybe 2 years. I feel like it's a good little road trip away from LA and just kind of run around. And it's with like a not new group of friends, but a group of friends I've never traveled with before. So I'm excited and I think it'll be good. So yeah.
You're not going for a stagecoach, are you?
Is Stagecoach the same weekend?
I think it might be this weekend, but I didn't know if they did 2 weekends like Coachella. I was like, you're
Dang,
going to
no, we're definitely
stagecoach?
not going to
Okay.
Stagecoach.
Just had to confirm.
Oh, no. That's actually good to know if we I'll look that up to see who we'll be kind of crossing paths with while we're there. But this week's episode is an Amaya production. Do you want to tell us what we're talking about today?
Today, we're going to talk about a hot topic that has been online, traveling everywhere. All of my feeds is about Emma Grede's recent comments about being a 3-hour mom. If you don't know who Emma Grede is, she has a podcast called Aspire with Emma Grede, where she interviews all these like popular, like famous people who like also have businesses. So she's interviewed like Cardi B or Tracy Ellis Ross. And then she's also the brain behind Skims, Good American. She's like a businesswoman from London. And so her comment specifically was about being a max 3-hour mom. So she said that she spends a few focused hours with her kids and then shifts into work and everything else in her life. Basically just like putting herself first, but then also like being with her kids, like when it matters to her. And the internet has some very strong opinions. Some people were like, this is honest, moms are exhausted, no one should be expected to do everything all the time. Then other people are like, this is unrealistic, privileged, and completely disconnected from most people's reality. And honestly, I don't really think this is just about her. I think it had opened up a bigger conversation about what we expect from moms right now. And with Mother's Day coming up, I figured it would be a great time to talk about mamas. So today we're going to talk about, what does a good mom even mean? Is it time spent? Is it presence? Is it balance? Or is it just impossible standards we've all silently agreed upon? Keep it in mind, none of the people on this podcast are mothers of actual children. So this is from the perspective of daughters. So the first question I have for you all today is, when you first heard about the 3-hour mom thing, what was your immediate reaction?
Okay, I think when I first thought of it, I was like, she just gives me, she's like a booked and busy woman. So she just gives me like, she has a nanny, she sees her kids when she can, and she's on a book tour, like she's moving around the world. And then I thought about it and I was like, it's actually kind of funny because I feel that. If I'm around some loud kids that need stuff, like after 3 hours, I'm gonna need a break. Like, give me an hour break. I can come back hour 5 and we can restart the 3-hour time limit. So I feel like people are saying she's like privileged and all these things of that sense. Yes, she is, but I also feel like people just have kids too quickly anyway. So it's like you can't say like someone's privileged when they just took their time to actually plan, like, okay, I have support in this way if it's not a nanny, you have like family members or friends. Like, even if I knew no one in the world, if I have 9 months to figure this shit out, I'm going to find a group of mom friends to help me out. After month 9, we'll be set. So I just feel like I don't even think it's privilege. I feel like it's prioritizing like actually what it takes to be a mom and to like have a family. And I feel like a lot of people just like they don't know what it takes to do that, so they like lack that. But it shouldn't. I don't think people should be giving her backlash for what she's saying.
Yeah, that's a good perspective. I think that how I first looked at it is like, obviously, like, a woman in like working, being very successful, X, Y, and Z, obviously that's going to take a lot of time. And so it is going to be like hard to balance. I think in terms of, I would never actively say like I'm going to be a 3 hour mom. I think that's a little crazy, but like, I mean, if that's what happens, cool. But I feel like I would like attempt to be like present as much as I can. If it's only 3 hours, okay, it's only 3 hours. But I would never like actively be like, I'm a 3 hour mom. So I think that's where like I can understand a slight amount of backlash. Like, okay, maybe you should try to be present like more. And if like some days are busy, some days are not, cool. But like, yeah. So I think that I can understand a little bit of backlash. But at the same time, like a working woman that's like very successful, like you are going to be busy and
Mhm.
like priorities are going to be a little bit different. And so you're able to have help and support in other ways where you don't have to spend as much time as another person who doesn't have help needs to.
No, I agree with that. I've always been team go get the help if you can, like, especially if you can, like, afford it. Nannies, night nurses, I discovered that a
Mm.
few years ago. Definitely on board with that and, like, would
Mhm.
want one. Like, I think that like you guys said, especially with how much she's doing and like how much work she's putting into like all these different projects, I think that it's almost kind of like to Brooklyn's point, like she didn't have to say it because it just like shook out that way, honestly. Like imagine you have kids, maybe like you have a nanny helping them get ready to school, drop them off at school. Everyone gets home from their respective places at like 6 to 9. You got that time with them, then they gotta go to
That's
bed.
your 3
So I'm just
hours.
like,
Right.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that's your 3 hours.
Yeah.
So I'm just kinda like it didn't really feel like a groundbreaking, thing because it's just like that's just how the schedules probably fall because she gets off work, and she already said in the interview that she makes everybody go in person. So, like, she's at the office, she's not just at home, and then all the kids are at school, everyone gets home, that's your 3 hours. I don't know, I think she's doing this, like, kind of run also for context. I think she just released a book, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think she's just kind of like, "Oh, what's something hooky and
Spicy
punchy that I can
things.
say?" Yeah, to, like, kind
Mhm.
of get this type of reaction
Mhm.
too.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I'm actually listening to her book right now. And it's been pretty interesting
Mm.
so far. I haven't got to the part where she's talking about motherhood, but I really like it so far and hearing her perspective as someone who's like super businesswoman. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I can kind of understand where she's coming from because as a mother of a cat, I'm like, I got 15.
Please.
I was like, that's so relatable because she was like, I'm not trying to sit and play Barbies like all day. And I'm like, I'm not trying to sit and play catch with my
I
cat all
feel
day. So
that.
I've got a bunch of automated toys so that she can play and like still have fun, but like more
Mhm.
individual time. So I'm like, I can't imagine having to like fully be occupied with the child, like occupy a kid's time. And she has 4 kids. So I'm like, that's a lot of work. But I'm also like, then it's your fault you have 4 kids. You
No,
have
right.
4 kids.
Do you know how
Yeah.
many kids or
Oh, I think they're young. Like, I would wanna say because she had kids a little later, I feel like they have to be around 10. Let's see, 12, 9, and 2 twins who are 4.
Damn. Not
okay.
the
That's
twins.
what it was. The twins took her out.
She said 1 more and got 2.
Right.
Right.
That's what happened.
Yeah, I don't
That's a
know.
lot.
I think that, like, also they're in these, like, very young formative years, and I don't know, I think that, like, she should be getting help. Like, you can, but it's harder to do it all by yourself and manage all these different businesses. It's like, it's just not as realistic.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And she's come from very humble beginnings, so, like, her working is, like, her life.
Mhm.
So do you think that people are reacting to her specifically or to the idea that she represents? For a little bit more context, I feel like the idea that she represents based on what we're saying is like someone who's like super pro working and like she like likes her soft life, but she also was like, I'm going to grind the heck out of my day to get to where I'm at. And I looked her net worth up when I started reading her book to give you some context. She's about 300 to 400 estimated net worth. And I think for me, I am actually surprised. I'm not surprised. The internet really never surprises me because people are so mean. But I saw a lot of stuff about like, oh, like we're not gonna listen to someone who has a white mom, or like we're not gonna listen
Mm.
to yeah, people are like going in and they're like, she's not talking to black women, and I'm like, what is going on? So I think a lot of it is her because I'm like, maybe it's like one of those like don't shoot the messenger type of things. Maybe the wrong person said it, but I didn't realize people had such like vitriol for her. I'm like, this is really random. So I think it's a little bit of both, like judging her specifically based on like looks and like because she's wealthy and because, at the end of the day, people are a little bit harsher to women when it comes to work because we don't be talking about Elon Musk's ability to not be a good dad or like I don't even know what's that guy's name? The crazy one who does Meta. He used to do Meta.
Mark
He still does.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg. Like about him and his probably ability to be with his kids 1 hour a day, if anything. So
Right,
I'm
yeah.
like, guys, this is silly.
Yeah. I agree with you. I think like any comment a woman makes about working slash taking care of kids, it will always get backlash because you're always going to have the men that think a woman should be in the house, and you're always going to also have the women that think a woman shouldn't be in that. Like you're always going to get both sides of it. So I think that any commentary on the topic will definitely get some sort of backlash. I think that I think there is a piece to both of it as well, like you were mentioning. I think that number one, like they are attacking her specifically, like those are crazy things to bring up. But I think, but like I said, also like she didn't need to say that, so I can understand like people being upset at her for even mentioning that. But I don't know. I think that people always find a reason to be upset, so I think that's definitely plays in here. But like at the same time, like some of this can be attributed to her too.
Okay, I have one more question. I'm gonna look it up right now. I was gonna ask what color her husband was and
I
confirmed.
just
Okay, so
I
she
looked
I was
looked him
gonna
up.
say she
Is he white?
also he is white, yes. She does have a white
He's
man.
sweet. He's Sweden.
He's
So, like,
not Swedish.
I do think that okay, I think it's kind of, like, multifactored. I think that, 1, she's kind of, like, new to the scene. Like, I don't think everyone knows who she is, but then when you look up who she is, the closest affiliation you see is Kardashian. So I think that, like, everyone kind of already has, like, their guard up of, like, "Alright, who is
Who
this
is
girl?" She's
this?
already right? Like, she's already kinda, like, not like us, and yes, she is biracial, but, like, I think that there comes a spectrum of, like, biracial and like closeness to being like how much you claim your blackness being biracial too. And so I think that that's been kind of a tricky thing too. And I think it might be a little hard, like, because I don't know if she like actively identifies as black. I'm not sure. But like if
I
she
had
is
no
and
clue
she's
she
like,
was
oh my
black
gosh.
ever.
Yeah, I know she was something. I just didn't know she was
Yeah.
What
black.
kind of something? It's like
Yeah.
it's interesting so far in the book, she talks about it, like, being black, like, a kind of a little bit I don't know if she uses those, like, terms, but she talks about her dad being black, but her dad wasn't in her life, so that also probably plays a part why she doesn't probably feel, like, as connected,
Yeah.
or I don't
Okay.
know how connected she feels, but, like, maybe that's I think also a part of it.
Yeah, and I think especially with, like, the Black community, it's one of those things where it's like, "Okay, this isn't all of our circumstances," like, I think ultimately a lot of people are three-hour moms and, like, just wouldn't put a name to it, like Brooklyn said a little bit earlier, but it's a little difficult, like, to probably hear someone be like, "This is, like, how it should be," and it's like, I
Yeah.
actually can't do things like that. I mean, and I think that the mom culture is just very toxic in general, like the mom groups and the Facebook whatevers, and it's like, "Oh, you should do this, or you shouldn't do that, or that's rotting your kids' brains," and iPads, my kids would never. I
Mm,
love my kids on the iPad. So I think it's just like the mom space is already so opinion based that like you can't even there's no right answer. Someone's
no.
always gonna find
Yeah.
something wrong with what you're doing anyway.
Because people don't like those, like, trad wives who, like, spend all the time with their kids, and they're like,
Mhm.
"You shouldn't
What
be
was that
putting this out
girl?
there."
Who was that girl that
Nor
made yeah,
Nar
that made everything
Nar
from scratch?
Smith.
Her.
Nara
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smith.
I
Everybody
miss
hated
her
her.
content.
And I was just like, she's not doing anything to anyone. I think that her life just feels I don't wanna, like, attribute it to the jealousy, but it just feels unattainable maybe to people, and
Mhm,
it's like, "Well, I can't do that, so, like, I'm gonna hate on you for being able to," is what it feels
mhm,
like to me, and that's it's probably
Yeah.
deeper than that, but, like or maybe not as deep as that at all, but I feel like there's probably more layers to it.
mhm.
Yeah, I feel like I never understood her hate because all I see is this girl cooking. Like, it's not even like she's showing us her life. She's not showing us her lifestyle. We don't know, like, what car she drives or, like, their house. Like, so it's like the girl wants to make stuff from scratch. Leave her alone. Like, people do that all day, like,
Mhm,
Like, what's the
with
problem?
money or not. Yeah, I don't
mhm.
know. I think that's weird.
It's so weird. I saw something the other day, and it was, like, about her, and they were like it's so funny because people were like, "Oh, like she doesn't work." but they were like, her posting that TikTok is her working every single
No,
day.
literally.
She don't do nothing but work. It's just like just because she's not like at a 9 to 5 office and it looks different than what you would expect. Do you think, I think this is an obvious question, but do you think her perspective changes because she has more resources and help?
So definitely she has more resources, so of course money. So that helps. But also I'm curious, like, does she have family? When I was looking up her husband, I mean, he might be a millionaire on his own, but it looked like he had lots of money because he had stakes in her company. So all the Kardashians, all the good American. So I'm curious if she was kind of like the breadwinner and like she kind of helped him get his money, or like none of his company just really came up first. So I thought that was interesting. But I know you said like her dad was in her life. So I wonder, does she actually have family to lean on to be like, hey, like, I just had a kid. Can you come over and help me? So I know like a lot of people when they have families, if they're like privileged, like their parents or someone might come over and like stay with them for months. Like my friend in Hawaii, she had both her boyfriend and herself, her parents live here, but they live in Hawaii. So when she had the baby, like his mom came for 6 months and like her mom came for 6 months. So I'm like, wow, that's privilege. And that didn't like take money. That took just like having family and like support. So I think she definitely had a different perspective because she can like pay people to come and help and yada yada yada. But for people who don't have the money, they're privileged in another way because it's like, oh, you have family to call, like, oh, you can call like your mom or your grandma or your dad or your cousin to, like, come help you, like, basically nanny. Like, just because you have a nanny doesn't mean, like me growing up, I helped, like, raise my little cousin. So, like, every summer, my aunt and uncle go to work, and I'm watching them, like, all day. So, it's kind of just like, yes, your perspective is different because you have money, but also it's kind of like, how can you utilize your resources that you do have? And then if you don't have either, then it's just like, this shit is too tough,
Yeah.
which people definitely are in that predicament. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think I thought about it in, like, the last piece that you touched on and, like, the single moms and single dads where it's like, they probably don't have the privilege to be able to say, "I am a 3-hour parent," because ultimately, if you don't have
Mhm.
the support, you are a parent whenever you need to be, and that could be 5 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever that might look like. So I think there's definitely a level of privilege that comes with that, being able to have, like, the resources, the family, the nannies, the support team. But yeah, I think about it in kind of the flip side of that, not having anybody, you don't get that privilege to be able to say that.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes total sense. I like, Faith, what you said about like privileges don't always have to relate to like economics and money because my mom left her down, but she definitely, her and my dad used to drop us off every summer at my grandma's house in Florida. So I'm like, in the summer, she was a no hour mom. And I'm like, that's so
Shut
fair.
up.
I'm
That's
not
like
going
for
to
the
send
no
this one
hour.
to I'm like, she sure. I'm thinking back to this. I'm like, and I respect it. I would have did the same thing. But I'm like, I also like you said, I had like my cousins around. I had an older sister, so like
Mhm.
we would also spend like a lot of time together. So I'm like, when it comes down to it, I don't think Emma's too far off from her comments. It just sounds crazy when you say it.
Yeah, it just sounds crazy.
It
It
sounds
sounds like
crazy.
I'm a microwave mom. Like, that's what I get.
Mhm. Like
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'm like, I get it, because a lot of times when people have kids, they just, I mean, I guess you gotta put the kid first and stuff. Then I feel like it's really easy to get to get lost. So this is why I don't got no kids yet, y'all. I'm
No,
clearly
same.
it's crazy. Like imagine it's a Saturday morning and the kid's like, I got soccer. It's like, no, I'm trying to take a nap.
No, and that's like that's really it though, because it's like you come home from work, you have to pick the kids up from school, pick them up from their practice. God forbid there's like a meet or a game you have to sit through.
Yeah.
You gotta s figure out dinner, you gotta make sure everyone has their homework done, like, it's simply too much. Like, I get off work and I'm like, "Please, no one talk to me for, like, 6
Literally,
hours."
yes.
I don't wanna hear anything from anybody ever. So I'm just like, I
Yeah.
cannot imagine. Now you're home and you have to, like, cater to, like, all of these kids and, like, their needs. So, like, I do get it, and I think that it probably takes, like, so much off of her to be like, "Okay, we have a chef to cook the dinner. We have a
Mhm.
nanny to, like, get everyone in bed and help with homework and all of that." And then I can do all the fun stuff and, like, watch a movie with the kids. So all that type of stuff
Right.
too.
You get to
Not
do
the
the fun
fun stuff.
stuff.
Yeah, literally
Right.
that. Like, it's like once everything's done, everyone's home from school and, like, homework is done, it's like, "Okay, now let's play." We can play Barbies, we can do whatever we want, and, like, it is interesting because it's even like the whole night nurse situation or conversation, I feel like there's been a lot of like back and forth about it because people are like, oh my gosh, you should definitely get one if you can afford it and have the resources to. But there's other people that are like, oh my gosh, this is like quality bonding time. Like it's kind of like a trenches that everyone kind of wants to go through to like really spend that time with their kid. I just don't feel that way. I really just don't feel that way because I'm like, if I could go to sleep and wake up well rested to be able to show up for the kid my full self the next day, what's the problem
Yeah.
with that? So
Right.
I get everyone has like different perspectives on it though. I don't think there's like a right answer besides just like not showing up ever
Yeah.
or like being supportive at all.
Yeah, because it's like, how much is your like, I don't remember nothing before I was at least 4. So I'm like, a night nurse? I don't remember being picked up by my mom. I know she was there for me, but I'm like, I don't know how much of a difference that would have made in my life.
Yeah. It's all hearsay right now. I don't know, I think she was there.
Do we think that women are expected to be everything at once, career focused and fully present at home? And because I feel like sometimes online, it feels like that perspective is changing. I feel like there's like one part of the internet that's like, I don't want to work, I don't want to do anything. But then you still got the other people who's like, I mean, one, you have to work in order to have money for your life
Yeah.
and like actually want to be like a career focused woman.
I think it's been interesting because felt like on social media, it has kind of gone in waves a little bit, and I feel like TikTok is maybe to blame here. But I think that like our parents' generation, it was very like trad wife, like at home, cooking, cleaning, also like working kind of like as we go down the line. And then now it's like hyper boss, girl boss era. But now the girls want to be trad wives again. And I'm like, it's so
Yeah.
interesting how we're like kind of circling back around to like, okay, now I don't want to, now I actually like don't want to do anything. And I could just like be at home and all of that. I don't know. I think that like if I had to guess, a lot of it is one, you kind of like see these lifestyles on social media and it's like, oh my gosh, I just go to the grocery store every day and then I go to Pilates and then I go to a coffee shop and that's my day and it's so hard. I feel like you see a lot of that on social media now that kind of like makes it a little bit more accessible, but also like the situation or, like, the circumstances of the world are just harder. Like, jobs, like, finishing school, like, all of that. I feel like there's so many more hurdles to it now where it's just like, "Fuck it," at this point. I'll just, like, be a stay-at-home mom or just, like, take care of the kids and things like that, and I don't think that's a bad, like, decision to make, but I do think it's, like it's interesting how it kind of shifts because I feel like there will be waves of, "Oh my gosh, everyone do what's best for you," and then it's like, "Oh, wait, but no, someone has to take care of the kids." So it kind of comes in waves.
Yeah, I was gonna say okay, so going off what Bria said. So yes, like back in the day, everyone was like, the man is working, or whoever is like male dominant in your relationship, what you got going on. The man is working and the woman's at home, cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids. Now, what shifted? I don't think this is a one reason. I'm sure it's like government focus. But I think a good shift was music. Cause think about the 90s. I feel like the 90s, the women were coming out of it. They're like, y'all are beating on us and cheating on us. We're gonna leave. We're gonna be independent women. Okay? Even Beyonce, all of them were like, we're independent. Listen to their old album. We're independent. I pay for my own car, my own shoes, my own everything. I don't need no man. And
Mhm.
then we grew up, right? We were 90s baby, 2000s baby. We grew up. Listen, like, we're gonna be independent. I don't need no man. Boom, boom, boom. I have my own career. And now look at us.
We I fear we've overcorrected.
We overcorrected
We
too much.
Too close to
overcorrected.
the sun.
We girl boss too hard. And now it's like, I'm looking at the people that are like, wow, you did find a good man who just took care of you and you're going through your fights. I'm like, oh, how cute. Now that needs to be my life. So now I'm backing off of the girl boss and I'm about to lean it all back on the man. Also, like Bria said, so different. Like inflation, the cost of everything is just like triple. Like
Mhm.
I saw like some houses was in Atlanta in 2009, so it was like 30K. Today it's over half a million. So I'm just like, and it's still the same type of house. Like there's no upgrades, there's no anything. So it's just like, yeah, we have to work because who gonna pay all these bills? It's great if one person could do it, but like unless even like with Emma, I was thinking like, well, she's a millionaire, but also like they have to even work harder too because they getting all their money taken as well. So it's just
Yeah,
like, when will it end?
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll add which number 1, we can't go a single episode without mentioning Beyonce. Um, I I definitely agree with, like, everything that's been said. Like, yes, it's been phases and also, like, we have overcorrected. Um, I also think maybe a hot take, I also think some of it is, like, self-inflicted because, like, we have overcorrected, so now, like, we're trying to be bosses at work, but also, like, trying to do the family and all that stuff too. It's like, maybe we should take a little breath, like, it's okay. No, I think, like, there is some expectation, but, like, Brie I think Brie, you mentioned this before, like, it's always gonna be a split crowd, like, people that think, like, we should be career focused, have our job X, Y,
Mhm.
Z, and then people that think we should be at home. So I don't think there's ever gonna be, like, a perfect agreeable situation, and so people doing whatever makes sense for them and their family and whatever makes sense for them and their personalities, so, yeah.
It's honestly I feel like it's honestly gotten very I don't wanna say irritating, but it's something I've learned to kind of drown out on social media too, because it's like, you could have the conversations about, like, 50-50, 100-0,
Mm,
whatever it is, but it's like, I'm just kind of like, at the end of the day, the 50-50 people are gonna find each other, the 80-20
Mhm.
people are gonna find each other, 100-0 people are gonna find each other. The fact of
Yes.
the matter is you're not gonna work. You're not going to work
Yeah.
if you're not on the same side here, so just, like, there's no need to be going back and forth because everyone has their own kind of look and feel into it anyway.
Yeah. I hate that conversation because it's like you both are saying, like, everyone's gonna have a split view, everyone's gonna think differently. So why are you
Mm,
arguing with people who's never gonna change their mind? Also, these are
exactly.
not the people that you're pursuing. So why are you
Right.
so angry?
mm.
It's
Arguing with random
okay.
people on Twitter, like, that's
It's
not your
just
Yeah.
so
target.
goofy.
So just please.
And you know what? This will be my last thing. I think with social media, it has made since everyone's like sharing their opinions and their views, everyone feels like you have to think the same. Like, of course, like
Yeah.
morally, like have some morals, like let's use our brains. But like everyone's household is so different culturally wise, like around the world, people are doing like some totally different from one person's household to the next. So it's also just like if they're cool with doing that, leave them alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's the life they choose. My friend, she went on a date with a guy and he showed her this like Instagram video and was like, "Oh, like, what do you think about this?" And it was
What's the
essentially it was essentially like it was the guy was talking about it was one of those, like, male podcasters, and
Mhm.
they were talking about how, like, at first, it's gonna be 50-50 man and woman, and then as the years go on, it's like share or, like, investment that he will put into you gets higher, but you had to the video said, like, between, like he's not gonna be 100% paying for things until, like, year 10. I said, "I gotta wait 10 years? What?" Every and you've got this, like, system mapped in your head that's sick.
What is
Right.
the what
Like
is the
who made
equation
that
here?
up?
He's got a financial model on how much he's gonna spend on you? No. Run, run.
Please.
It's too
Please be
much thought.
serious.
Like what?
Now we're gonna get into some listener questions that we received this week. If you ever have any listener questions, feel free to email us at theheysisterpod@gmail.com, or you can DM us on Instagram at theheysisterpodcast. The first question we got is, what's your mom's most iconic phrase or saying?
Okay, I have 2. My first one and it's funny because I actually think about these all the time, and I'm like, I understand why she's saying this." But the first one is, "A hard head make a soft tail." I got used to she used to tell me this all the time because I have to learn by doing things. You can't just tell me not to do something. I have to try it myself and then see the consequences. So now I do things I'm like, if only like I would have listened when somebody said this. So that's the first one. And then one that I also think about all the time, she used to always say, "Not my monkeys, not my circus." And like I think about that all the time. Just that's none of my business. Let me mind mine because what's happening over there in their home ain't got nothing to do with me. Let them do what they want to do, and I'm gonna mind mine over here. So those are the 2 I always remember my mom saying all the time and I think about a lot.
Wait, can I add one that I thought you were gonna say? "Your emergency is not my emergency." I think about that all the time because I'm just kind of like I'm like, "Wait a minute, the fact that someone else didn't plan and do what they were supposed to do, not my
Mhm.
emergency now." So,
Wait, these are so good. Wait, my mom definitely used to say that, "Not my circus, not your monkey," or whatever. She
That's
definitely
a
used to
good
say
one.
that one. That's a good one. For my mom, I feel like I can think of one where she always is like, "No one's helping me around this house." And I'm like, "That's so real," because she used to be outside Saturday morning in the garden, but I'm like, I couldn't help because I was asleep. You didn't even let me get the chance, and she's
wait,
such a
Amaya, so the
Maya,
phrase
please.
is
Wait.
the phrase is, "Nobody's helping me around the house."
Maya, that's crazy.
This is
Please.
the actually this
I said that quite often. I be trying to just be tired. She a busybody, y'all.
is
She
the
be
I'm
doing too
tired. My
much.
body can't keep up.
I can't keep up with her. This is the second
That's
question
sweet.
is, what's one habit you picked up from your mom that you swore you'd never have?
Okay, my habit is okay, mine's from my grandma. Remember growing up, we always go to the store, and every store, the first thing she does is like, "We're gonna go to the sales rack, we're gonna go to the sales rack, we're gonna go to the sales rack." I'm like, "Girl, you can afford the regular clothes." And I'm like, cause like for a kid, I'm like a sales rack. I mean, I don't know. I just never saw anything on there for me. So I'm like, all this shit is ugly. I'm going to the regular rack. But now I'm older, I love a sale. I'm like, what? I have a coupon. I have some percent off. Like I literally will go to a store because like even if it's a grocery store, because like they have a buy one get one free off of fucking red bell peppers. Like, bitch, I don't care. It's a sale. We're saving money. So I just love a sale.
Mine is, like, so specific, but I remember because my mom was a teacher growing up, and every morning, we would get up earlier so that she could go to Starbucks and get her coffee.
Mm.
She's
I
just like
remember
my mom.
I remember growing up and being like, "Girl, you don't need a coffee this bad, like, we could have slept an extra 30 minutes," and now that I'm an
Mhm.
adult, I'm like, I actually do get it because if I don't have my coffee, it's just all bad.
Yeah.
I do understand.
That's why my mom is at Starbucks growing up. Oh my
No,
gosh.
Starbucks hit the streets like crack,
Mm.
especially in the Black community. I was like, because it was all sugar. That's why it was like value
Yeah.
sugar in a cup.
Had me drinking my frappuccinos.
That's so interesting because my friend's mom was like that in high school. Like, once we got to the age of being able to drive, she would get her coffee in the morning, but then we had to, like, take her coffee after school, and if she didn't get it, she would, like all hell would break loose. And I
That's
was just
crazy.
like
That's
and I
insane.
and but, like, my grandma growing up, she just made old school, just made
Yeah, yeah.
coffee every morning, but she would still have to have it every day. So I'm just like, "Dang, what marketing team went crazy?"
I actually read something. I can't remember what it is. I'll have to look up the story and maybe bring it to the next episode. But there was like a thing where I think it was coffee like decades ago at this point. It wasn't catching on in the US and then they
The
had to
one in
do
Japan?
something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Maybe that's what you're talking about. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't catching on in
It
Japan, so
was
they
like
had to like.
coffee wasn't catching on in Japan because it was super
Mhm.
tea-based. It was like in the
Mhm.
70s, 80s.
Mhm.
So what they started doing was marketing it, like making coffee more marketable towards kids. Now kids can't drink it, but it will
Yes,
like
that's what it was. Okay.
have like the font or the cool jingles, like the cool things that come with coffee. I don't know, there's cool ways to market it. And kids were
Mhm.
like intrigued. So by the time they got to like 12, 13, they're like, I want coffee, I want coffee. And then they basically admit, like, yeah, we created addicts and now your whole life
No,
be
for
You're
sure,
coffee
and
addicted to it.
I think Starbucks did that too because there was no reason I was 8 talking about, "Can I get a frappuccino?" That's
Literally.
insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane.
Literally.
They were like,
Did not do
"Yeah."
that.
There should have been some age restrictions on that stuff, but
I did used to get my
absurd.
frappuccinos without espresso, which is crazy because
Okay.
that really is just like a shake. But I
Yeah.
loved it. That would be my drink. And my
Yeah.
mom, we would get our Starbucks, then we go shopping. And I also, my mom was on themselves. She was
Mhm.
taking me to Ross. We was going to all the stores.
Yeah.
All the stores. I loved it.
Sounds like my mom. Stay
Yeah,
in a
that's the one thing.
Ross.
I'm feeling so old because I'm just like, what am I gonna do today? I won't do anything.
Literally, I guess I'll go to the
But I
TJ
feel like go
Maxx.
to the store, yeah. But then they're all next to each other. So it's like TJ Maxx, Ross, Marshalls, Target.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Home
oh,
Goods.
okay. Just going in to look. No, you're
Literally.
going to go buy something.
Felt.
Now we've got our last segment of today's episode. Put me on and put that down, where we give you our favorite Rex of the week.
My put me on, okay, mine are kind of like mothers related. Okay, my put me on is on like my TikTok and on my Instagram. I always say whenever like someone's like new mom hack, like how to get your kids to go to sleep or like how to get them to eat healthy, I will save it. I really just have like mom little subject saved on my social media because whether it's 5 to 10 years from now, I'm gonna have these hacks and I'm going. It's gonna be so great and so efficient. So yes, just saving things that you'll need in the future. For my put that down, okay, how do I work this? Okay, my put that down, and this is like a very specific group of moms, clearly, who act like this. But, not everyone's mom is all peachy and great. But I need moms to stop acting like, and maybe it's more so like for their sons. Moms stop acting like their sons need to get them gifts that their man should be getting. So this will come
That's a really good one.
Isn't that a good one?
That
'Cause
is a
I
good
remember,
one.
like, my friend was telling me a story, and she was like, her boyfriend's mom was, like, really mad because for Christmas, she asked her son to get her something, and he's just like, "I'm saving up for a house, like, I have
Uh,
my own girlfriend, like, I'm not about to get you that. I'll get you something that you actually need." And the mom, like, was pissed. She was like, "I'm not talking to you, blah, 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 blah." And I was just like, wow, I feel like that's actually I've heard that so many times where it's like, this is not an appropriate, not even that it's not appropriate, but it's like, your man should get you this gift. So I am not your man. So go find a man and stop asking me for gifts.
you goofy. That relates to my
That's mine.
put that down. Stop having children with men who you know ain't no good to begin with, and then we're surprised when the baby come and they're nowhere to be found. I don't get what's so surprised about that. I'm like, I've watched enough TV and seen enough online to understand that it's not gonna work out well.
Yeah.
So don't do it. You don't even need to put all that pressure on yourself. So stop stop doing that. For put me on, I have two actually. One, with Mother's Day coming up, buying your mom a nice gift for Mother's Day. My mother has requested a new oven, which I personally
What?
that to me doesn't sound like a Mother's Day gift. She said, "Fine, you can send me some money for the new oven." So that's what I'll be getting my mother this year.
I'm so weak.
Honestly, you should start a GoFundMe, have other people donate to this, then
I
the hopefully
should.
you can get her
And
a
you can
little
cash out my mom $1 for her new oven. I'm
You just
like,
have to
whatever
make up a
happened to
sob
flowers?
story. Be like, the oven exploded. We just need help.
We just need help, please. Please,
Hey,
please get her this new oven.
Right. What did happen to flowers? Because an oven is crazy.
The thoughtfulness, like that.
Like, she said, I'm not accepting love anymore as my
No, that's
gift.
literally my mom. I was like, "Oh, I'll get you like," I was just
it's
playing
these
around with it.
phones. They on Instagram
Literally,
saying
I
what
was
the
I remember what we were talking about. I was just playing around with her. I was like, "I'll just get you this for Mother's Day." She was like, "Oh, you better not." She was like, "I need she she was like, "I need a better gift than that." I'm like, "Excuse me? What happened to being grateful? Because God forbid you get me a gift." And I'm like, "Why did you get me that?"
No,
That's like
because that
World
would
War
be
Three.
crazy. No, these moms are getting spicy. They're not playing around no more. And that's so fair. So fair. Then my second put me on is planning your pregnancies with your friends. Me and my best friend Sana
Please.
just
Please.
we just made a pact. And in a certain amount of
Please.
years, we'll both be ready to have children so that our girls can, hopefully their girls, can be besties.
Hopefully
love
they're
it.
girls.
I love it.
Thank you, Faye.
I just feel like even from the front end, why do I want to get pregnant by myself? Like I need
Right.
someone to call, not someone who's been through it. I need someone that's going through it right now.
Actively.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
And also,
imagine
like, you want your kids to have, besties, like the same age
besties.
and stuff like that too.
Exactly. Because imagine your
A
friends.
forced bestie. Like you have to be their
Exactly.
friend.
Like built-in besties. That's so cute.
Mm-hmm. No, I like that.
I put me on. It's like I see this on TikTok a lot. This is a very random place to get this from, but I see this on TikTok a lot. It's put that on in the sense of realizing and understanding that it's all of our moms, parents, XYZ first time doing this. And so being patient, being understanding, and like knowing that like everyone's gonna make mistakes. And so I think like that's a good reminder to have, especially with Mother's Day coming up. I put that down. We love Black movies, Black, directors, all of the above. But some things you may need an outside source to review things to make sure it's ready to step into the public view. I'm not going to talk about a movie in particular. However, eyes could have been put on that before it went to movie theaters. Some things need to go directly to your Netflix or your Hulu, Netflix special. Da, 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 da. Some things don't need to go to a movie theater. And so having extra eyes look at these Black movies sometimes I think could really help.
My put me on. I actually do really like Emma Grede's podcast. So if you're interested and you want to kind of learn about the people behind some of these businesses and some like the business decisions that they've made, it's called Aspire with Emma Grede, I believe. And it's really good. So I would recommend listening to it. And then my put that down is I really want y'all to stop going back and forth with niggas online. Like I feel like we've reached a point where it's like there's
I'm
no
still
reason for y'all to be
playing.
going back and forth. Like it really does come to a point where think to yourself, Would your man be online arguing with
Mm.
girls about Twitter debates? No. So therefore, you shouldn't be either. All right. I'll leave it right there.
That's a good one.
That wraps up this week's episode. If you are listening and you have not done so yet, be sure to leave us a 5-star review, whether it's on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We are still a new show and we appreciate all of the ratings. And if you're on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to submit any questions to us in the future, you can email us at theheysisters@gmail.com or hit us on Instagram, TikTok, etc. at theheysisters. But with that, we will go ahead and wrap this week's episode. Thank you guys so much for listening. Bye, sisters.
Bye,
Bye,
sisters.
sisters.